everybody, what's going on? I'm Chris. Thanks for watching the show today. Before we get going, could I ask you, we're trying to grow this channel kind of quickly. If you'd subscribe and also click on the little bell above the subscribe button to notify you when there are new videos in this channel, it would really help us. Thank you very much. Okay, so Alvin Kamara. I mean, he was a pretty good success story for himself and for the Saints and for me last year because I called it on the podcast. I thought I saw pretty early on that he was going to be something special, even when he was third string behind Mark Ingram and Adrian Peterson. Remember that. And so I thought we would look at some film today and talk about what I saw last year and what we can expect going forward for 2018. So let's dig in. I remember where I was. I was watching Saints-Patriots in Week 2 last year. Kamara had made a couple plays, limited action against the Vikings in Week 1. Saints had lost. I'd noticed that Adrian Peterson hadn't done much, and then this play happened. It's Patrick Chung, not exactly an elite cover player in the NFL, but against a running back, I mean, I don't want Chung covering a receiver, but a running back, he ought to be able to be okay, right? No. Kamara uses that all-world acceleration, and within 2 steps, Chung is reaching out to try and hold him back because he knows he's in trouble. And indeed, he's in trouble. Kamara gets open, and then there are the ball skills. I mean, is he a running back or is he a wideout after all? So when I saw this, my ears got all perked up. Hey, quick break. Let me thank DraftKings for sponsoring today. So I have the 2018 Harris Football Player Profile Almanac, and you can get it free by making a first-time deposit at DraftKings of just $10. And normally this thing costs $17, so it's a pretty good deal. All you have to do is click on the link below me in the notes of this show, go over to DraftKings, and make your first-time deposit of $10. And within 24 hours, you will get the PDF of the Almanac emailed to you. It's a 200-plus page PDF with everything you need to know about film grades and the players and stats and research projects and lots of other stuff. I would recommend reading it before you draft, and frankly, you'll get a laugh because there's some jokes in there about players as well. Thank you very much to DraftKings for sponsoring, and let's get back to some Alvin Kamara film. Okay, getting back into it, but to this point, Kamara's third string. He's behind Peterson and Ingram, and he's mostly returning kicks. So this following week, Week 3, I think he had 5 offensive touches, but one of them was this. And I specifically remember taking note of this one, and it's when I went on the podcast and I told you to add him. 12-yard gain, right? What's the big deal? It's the acceleration that was the big deal. Look at how fast he gets underway. Thomas Davis sees it coming, the linebacker there, number 58. He doesn't have the best angle, but he sees where the run's coming, and he expects to be able to sort of leap and reach it when the runner comes out the other side, and he can't. He doesn't. Kamara gets going so fast here. This is the prototypical shot out of a cannon, and this is when I started to realize, oh man, the acceleration on this kid. I can show you acceleration plays for this guy for days. Here's one that Brett Coleman and I showed you on Film Don't Lie University. Look at that end zone view of this run against the Rams. Watch the moment when he opens up his hips and sort of changes the vector of his run to the outside, to his right. And then watch him just hit an entirely different gear. The defensive back, Ron Bartell, this is how you know you're looking at someone with acceleration. Bartell realizes he's taking a bad angle, sort of realizes it part way into the play, and flings himself toward Kamara, and no, he can't get him, and he's gone, 74-yard touchdown. This one against Washington. See the difference between these plays and the ones I showed you, say, for Alex Collins last week. The difference is Kamara is making these plays by going fast, and the reason you know it when you see it is defenders are surprised how fast he's on them, and they have to lunge and dive. So here's number 94, who sees Kamara cut back in his direction and dives from behind, can't get him. And then especially there's number 23 coming into your screen, unable to believe the angle he thought would bring him to Kamara has in fact taken him way off course. I mean, number 23 has broken down and is in tackling position, and then Kamara hits the Jets. And when you see a guy dive like that, the defensive back diving like that, he's surprised, and that's really good. So the actual bold call that I made on the podcast was our mid-season Huggy Awards, in which I think I said Alvin Kamara will finish as RB15 and he will lead all running backs in receptions and receiving yards. And he almost did the latter, and RB15 wound up being fairly underestimating his ability in the former. So we can look at some other stuff that he does special, and it's the combination really that winds up being just pretty terrific. Let's look at him as a receiver. I showed you that early play in the season when we got a glimpse of what he could do as a receiver. Let's look at a few more plays. I mean, Vikings probably don't cover Kamara with a linebacker, and actually you're going to see that's a theme throughout much of this film, is sometimes defenses, especially when the Saints go spread, and if the defenses aren't in dime, they don't have a choice. A lot of times it has to be a linebacker on Kamara, and that is just a green light for Drew Brees. So number 54 here, Eric Kendricks. Yes, Kamara is faster than him and he gets behind him, but it's the ball skills. This is the divisional round of the playoffs last year, the Minneapolis Miracle game. It's the flipping open of the hips, the running backwards. It's the hands to make a contested catch, because Kendricks is doing what he's supposed to do. He's swiping down, he's trying to grab his hands. It's all of this coordination. Again, it just makes you think, man, these are wide receiver skills. Against Tampa, another linebacker on a downfield pass. This is good coverage because Levante David's a great player. And you talk about ball skills. I mean, you've got a 230-pound human draped over you, running with you step for step, and that's pretty good. Kamara does not have elite long speed for a running back. It's why he ran 4.53 at his combine. It's why he isn't winning a ton of fair foot races where the defensive player who's fast is getting a fair start on a fair angle. Kamara's probably not going to beat that guy in that case. It's actually the acceleration that's special on him, how fast he gets going. And then, yeah, again, against David here, it's just pretty good ball skills. And then the back shoulder. Again, on film, when you see your running back sometimes looking like a wide receiver, Kamara's split in the slot. And again, you're going to get a lot of linebackers on him in this scenario, unless you've got just a ton of defensive backs on the field. So this time it's Leonard Floyd, and Floyd is a super freak athlete. He's 250 pounds and basically as fast as Kamara at that size. And again, you're not getting the long speed burner with Kamara, but doesn't he look like a wide receiver coming back to the ball there? That is awfully good. I mean, there's not much more to say when you have that sort of coordination and adjusting ability, and you know that Drew Brees thinks of him as essentially a receiver. He can throw the back shoulder, and his running back can go get it like that. It's pretty amazing. So I've shown you acceleration. I've shown you receiving. But let's also show you some power. This play against the Lions gives you a sense of the power and the balance. So this is stuffed. Number 97 there gets a paw on Kamara. Number 40 gets a full arm on him. Number 59 plows into him, and Kamara stays up. And that's like 7 extra yards on this run. We're talking about a 215-pound back. That's big for you and me, muscular and strong for you and me, but by NFL running back standards, he's not Leonard Fournette. I give Kareem Hunt this kind of credit too. Sort of a non-huge guy who somehow stays on his feet way longer than you'd expect. And probably both Kamara, maybe, and Hunt are not 15-carry guys between the tackles every single week, because you'd worry that they would wear down. Too much pounding. Too small, not making enough guys miss in the box, and you worry that they get hurt as well. And Kamara isn't even necessarily a goal line guy, especially when you have someone like Ingram on the team, but clearly powerful. Another power play, we showed this one in Film Don't Lie University as well. This is a touchdown. It's a nice cut to turn it upfield, absolutely. I mean, I'll take the cut for sure. But for a guy his size, taking the hit from number 20 there, that's Kurt Coleman. Look at him take the shot on his hip and then kind of coil himself as he takes the shot and forearm Kurt Coleman in the face. Not only doesn't he go down, but he doesn't really even get knocked off balance. His base is just really stable. He's very strong for his size. Again, I'm not going to view him as a goal line back or even really as a full-time back necessarily in today's NFL. But that sort of power to be able to get off of me, and the defender sort of goes flying and Kamara scores. So Kamara is one of my favorite players, not least of which because he kind of made me look smart last year on the podcast, but also I just love his film. He's terrific. I have him as the RB6, whether you're dealing in standard leagues, PPR leagues, or some variety in between. And, you know, when Mark Ingram got suspended for these first 4 games of 2018, I actually didn't move Kamara's rank at all, and I'll tell you why. I think the Saints probably recognized what they had last year. The workload was probably just about right for Kamara. Maybe he goes up a little bit this first month of the season, but this is why you have the Terrence Wests or the Jonathan Williams around to take some of those big banging plays and potentially score some of those short touchdowns that we would love for Kamara to inherit. But I just think in the end, he's not that big of a player. And while I did show you some power, yeah, I don't necessarily think he's a power back, and you don't want to take a chance and get rid of some of that acceleration with nagging injuries or some of that receiving ability with nagging injuries. In the end, I don't think the workload varies too tremendously much from 2017, but that's okay, because Kamara was a top 5 fantasy running back last year, even with the workload he had shared with Mark Ingram, and when Ingram comes back, if he's in the good graces, I feel fine that they'll go right back to producing pretty much like they did last year. Except maybe the touchdowns. So last year, Ingram and Kamara combined for 21 touchdowns. Drew Brees only threw for 23. That's an unsustainable ratio that probably won't recur in 2018. Brees, just through the law of averages, will throw more touchdowns to wide receivers, and there will be fewer goal line, short type touchdowns available for the running backs. So yeah, I think we're going to get a regression touchdown-wise for all Saints running backs, including Kamara, but I don't care. I believe in the talent so much, and in today's NFL, where quote-unquote feature backs really aren't a thing anymore outside of, 5 teams or so, that's okay. I can have Kamara as part of a committee and still get great work out of him for my fantasy team. He's not coming at a value anymore. You're paying retail for Alvin Kamara, but I got him as a fantasy first rounder. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.